Hello everybody, Jose Rodriguez here. I decided to do this video here so that I can demonstrate certain things to you. We're going to talk about color management. Of course, that's what plagues everybody. And they just don't seem to be able to get a neutral result, whether they print with the driver controlling color through whatever application, or to the same application or another application, and letting it control color through a matching profile for that paper. Now, let me give you a little rundown on how drivers actually work when you are using papers that are listed in their media drop-down menu. For instance, a Canon Pro-100, Pro-10, Pro-1000, EPSON P600, P400, P800, whatever printer you have, you will notice on the drop-down menu for your media type, you will have some names. And if you're using that particular paper matching and you choose to let the driver control color, and I will show you really quick how you achieve that, then you will then achieve a pretty close to perfect rendition of your image. Of course, we're not talking about monitor calibration yet. Your output has to be correct. In other words, your monitor has to be correctly calibrated. We're talking about a standard image, and that standard image is pretty much perfect. So we're going to go ahead and rely on that as our control. So in order to do that, we have to basically set our driver this way. And I'll show you on the Pro-100, being that it is the most popular printer out there. So we'll go ahead and go to our control panel. I'm going to open up devices and printers. Remember, I work on Windows. So on a Mac, that will probably be a different setting. I'm going to right click on the Pro-100 icon. And then we will be able to see this. Let me move this out of the way. All right, so here we are. As you can see, I have a lot of drivers for a lot of printers. So we have ProLuster picked, and it could be any other of these papers here. As long as you are printing on that particular paper, which you chose to begin with, you're good to go. Now, high quality, obviously. Why would I choose anything less? And a lot of people make that mistake to print at a faster speed, meaning half the quality. Half the quality will be used, not the total quality that the printer can produce. So, letter size, rear tray, that's the top tray, by the way. So the critical thing is to click on this color/intensity manual adjustment, click on matching, and then ICM. That will tell the printer driver to use the correct profile for photo paper ProLuster. So you basically are printing with a color managed workflow, actually, simply using the driver. Now, should there be a difference if I turn this to none and then in my application, say for instance, choose to allow it to control color? No, there shouldn't be a difference whatsoever. It's going to utilize the same ICC profile to take the values from your image and decipher them into how the print engine should then mix your very limited number of colors. We're trying to reproduce up to 60 million colors here with only 6 or 8 or 9 or 12. So it is very difficult to do, and sometimes I wonder if people expect too much from a printer. Okay, I really wonder that. Because often they're complaining about a very infinitesimal amount of color shift or inaccuracy of what the so-called display is displaying, and your display may be displaying those colors incorrectly to begin with, right? So what happens often is that people are getting a color cast. Yes, usually a magenta color cast. And they don't know where that's coming from. They claim that when they let the printer driver control color, and I wonder if they're doing it correctly to begin with, that they get a good result. You know what? If I was a beginner, I would stick with that system then. Yeah. Why would I bother with something unknown that requires a high learning curve? Well, when they switch over, say, for instance, telling Photoshop to control color, are they really turning off that setting in the driver? You see, you cannot have either entity controlling color at the same time. It's either one or the other. This has been discussed till the ends of the world, okay? So I have to do it once again. Now, your operating system may have something to do with it. Windows is totally manual. You have to do everything manual. You make a mistake, it's on you, my friend. Mac is automatic color management. But for some reason, the majority, and I know this is going to piss off a lot of people, especially the Mac users, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but the majority of weird tonal problems that I see either on my Facebook group or on my channel's comment section has to do from the Mac OS. And again, it should not be the case. I don't think it's the OS. I think it's the driver. And so I would suspect that somehow in this automatic switching, because apparently the Mac driver does not permit double profiling, and that's wonderful. Except, you know what? I have to see it to believe it. I don't care if I see it grayed out or not. I have to be shown absolutely that that is what's taking place now. Whether that's true or not, or whether I'm just being biased because I'm a Windows user. I used to work on Macs constantly at work in my scientific work. That's what we use because all our programs were made for the Mac operating system. But that was way back. When I started printing, I realized, wait a minute, this is not good. This is giving me too many headaches, and I switched over to Windows. That's what I did. And I have not had any kind of color matching, silly, odd problems unless I cause them myself or the printer causes them. But not the computer and the driver. They seem to be getting along quite well. And I'm just telling you my experience. So let's look at something different now. What if, because I'm not the type that will trust anything, okay? Yeah, I'm that way. I need to see it to believe it, and I need to manually control it. So when I print through, Photoshop, or rarely print through Lightroom, I make sure that I manually check everything. I screw up sometimes, of course I do. But that's on me, because I go back and I double check and I go, oh, yeah, I forgot to click this box or check this other setting or whatever. So how can we make our lives easier through automation and still be able to trust it 100%? Because if you don't show me, absolutely show me, I cannot trust you. I don't care if it says, oh, I just grayed out color matching, I'm on color sync or whatever. I cannot possibly believe that that's actually what's taking place. I need to be shown. I'm just one of those a-holes, okay? So, yeah, I'm in a great mood today, by the way. I'm not really angry. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and open what? Qimage Ultimate. And I know I have demonstrated this before, but for you guys that are teetering on the fence, so to speak, whether to buy it or not to buy it, oh, what do I need that for? Are my prints going to be better? Well, yeah, they are. They do look better. Okay, that's part of the magic. Okay, so let's go ahead and open Qimage. We'll switch over to the screen, and I'm going to show you how it is impossible, and I do mean impossible, to double profile. I still don't trust it. I still have to manually check myself, but I will show you how that actually works. Let's jump over to the screen. All right, I have opened Qimage Ultimate. This is the very latest version 112, I believe, of 2020. So what do we have here? We have our standard image. This is what we rely on to verify all of our printers that they are outputting correct. All right, so let's go ahead and check to make sure that the printer driver is actually set to ICM or driver matching. ICM, there you go. That is the correct setting. So let's go ahead and change this over to ProLuster, which is what we're using. See, I opened it through Qimage, and Qimage remembers the last paper that I was using, and of course also the size. So we'll change that over to high, ProLuster, letter size, okay. Now let's go over and click on this little toolbox right here. Click on that. We're going to click on the magnifying glass. And remember, I have hundreds of profiles installed on my computer. We need to find the correct one for ProLuster. We'll click on that. Check out what's on the top. ProLuster Quality 3 or 1.2. We want this one here. That's it. I didn't have to search anywhere for it. It put it right on the top. So see what happened here? It set my driver correctly again. Printer driver color matching settings have been auto-applied. Now remember, I haven't touched my driver because the last time I checked, it was set at ICM. So let's go ahead and take a look. I'm going to click on that and matching, and it is set to none. Okay. So now let's go ahead and fool it. Let's go ahead and change it to ICM manually. I'm going to close it. It won't let me. See that? Printer driver color matching settings have been auto-applied. So even if I try to manually override that, it's not going to allow me to. Boom. None. Let me move this over. None. That is the correct setting. So you see how it's actually impossible to commit the cardinal sin of double profiling. It just won't let you do it. But the beauty of this is that I don't have to trust it. Okay. I can check. I can manually check to make sure that's actually what's happening. And in this case, as you saw, it is actually happening. So go ahead and try the 14-day trial and you'll fall in love with it. That's just one of the many, and I do mean many features of this great program. So give it a try. If for this only, I would buy it. Okay. Only for that reason, because it will prevent this almost senile old man commit that cardinal sin of double profiling. Okay. All right. That's it. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. And of course, as always, happy printing. Do not double profile. In fact, you don't have to worry about it if you choose this application. Bye-bye, everybody.